Cheers.
Cheers.
To us.
What
What's
a day.
your favourite episode of The Office?
My favourite episode of The Office. When you were a kid, did you ever do this?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have done that for sure.
I used to do this. I used to do it all the time, and like I wouldn't even be trying to get a laugh. I'd just be sat by myself in my room.
For reference,
alone.
Mike's got an ice lolly and I've got a cornetto, and Mike was like ramming it in and out of his throat really quick. And also for anyone watching,
I think it's so
anyone,
satisfying.
yeah, it is. It's something to do with the shape of it, and it's lovely. Yeah,
It was nice. I mean, it's obvious. It's very refreshing as well.
it
It's
is
cold.
super
It's
refreshing.
mango.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, well, at what point does it start becoming inappropriate? Because I feel like,
think it's absolutely fine now. Like,
yeah, if I start going like,
yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's a lot.
that is a funny skit. Just like people, and I'm just like,
And you're like, no, you're reading way too much into this. This is innocent.
I'm just
a
enjoying
man
life.
enjoying a lolly. Yeah, it's the same with like when you were doing that.
Oh,
thing
broken
to
up.
No, it's the same when you were doing that thing to the gear stick in the car. It's a similar premise. Oh,
That was funny.
for anyone watching as well, it'd be hard to pick up on camera, but if anyone else agrees with us, Mike made the good point the other day when we got these cornettos. They are full branded cornettos as well, like not to brag, but they have shrunk like rapidly
They've
since when
definitely
we
gotten
remember
smaller
having them when we were younger.
since we were kids.
Not even as in
100%.
like when we were kids, our hands were smaller. As like a young adult, I was 21 when I had a cornetto, and you can just feel that
you
it's
can tell.
changed.
You can totally tell. But that's happening a lot now, isn't it? And it's really sad. Like there's the whole Freddo thing, debacle.
It's getting smaller, but it's getting more expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and maybe I'd love to see that. Actually, I'd love to see like bags of crisps.
There's a YouTube video about
Is
it
there?
where they show you the difference. Yeah, and this thing where they're like 25% extra. That's the reversal of it now. You're actually only getting what you used to get, but they're trying to sell you it like it's more. So they get you used to a minimal amount of the Pringles, and they're like, oh, 25% more, and that's what actually used to be in them.
Isn't
but it
that
makes
horrible?
you think it's kind of like YouTube ads. They're like, oh, YouTube Premium, no ads, and I'm like, that's what I had to begin with.
Yeah,
then you took it away,
and
now
it's a luxury. Yeah, that's so weird.
Mad. Would you ever get YouTube Premium, like no ads on YouTube?
I don't think so. No.
It's not worth it, is it? Like, who's bothered?
I know. Sometimes it's a weird one because like I feel like sometimes I'll kind of enjoy it in the same way that I kind of enjoy like when you watch a film and then adverts come on. I kind of like that. When they're like 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, I'll. It's a bit of a breather.
And adverts on the telly are more like 2 to 3 minutes when you're watching a movie on the telly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But YouTube ads are like, maximum 10, 20 seconds.
I guess it's more like I feel like a YouTube ad. To me, it's an ultimate vibe killer, and it seems like they put them in a strategic place. Whereas, like like with films, I'll be watching a film and I'll be like, what, that was placed actually really well because I could use a break actually. Like I could totally just have 5 minutes there and just. Yeah. Whereas with YouTube, I'll just be getting into something, and then this thing will come up and it's like,
exactly
and
it's so interesting how they do that. Imagine watching Titanic on the telly and you're watching Titanic. There's been some adverts throughout it. It's a long movie. And then it gets to the bit literally where they're approaching the iceberg. Right. And then literally it's the second before it hits. And then it's like, Warburtons. I don't know, something like that. Like, and then you go back in, it's straight away like, like the crash. It's just a total like, you okay? Was that cold?
Sorry, it all fell off in my mouth, and then
I hate that.
That was horrible. That was even pleasant. That was a challenge.
I've got such sensitive teeth as well that would probably make me like bleed.
Yeah. Well,
out
hope
my
not.
eyes.
Oh my god. Yeah, and I find the whole concept of, it's always like do you remember did you see that advert of what's his name? Robert De Niro. He was in the Warburton ad. He did a Warburton's advert.
I do remember that, yeah.
That's a really interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like because Warburton's, when I think of Warburtons, and I think the way that they'd marketed it was that, you know, Warburtons is like
It's a family bread.
It's a family bread. You know, it's like it's Northern English bread, Warburtons. You know, like wartime. Yeah. And then you see Robert De Niro, who like is this, you know, insane
multi-millionaire, incredible actor
from America, or like New York or Brooklyn or whatever. And it's like, you know, I'm not saying he can do whatever he wants. But I find it's an interesting thing of like
that's come across his desk one day and he's gone. Like, this bread, I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it for some money. Like, you know, like I don't. Yeah, that I find it. I'd love to have been in a part of that conversation.
His agent's like, Robert, something just came across my desk. It is the best thing we've ever seen.
It's like, what is it? It's like, oh, it's a bread. It's for bread. It's like, you know, this was the guy that was in like Raging Bull, and it's like, and this bread company. It's like an English. Do they have Warburtons in America? I just don't see that.
I can't see that. No, you don't. That it's a British brand, isn't it?
Feels like it, yeah. But hey, that's
Robert De Niro's business and Warburton's business. That's between Robert De Niro and Warburton's.
Last thing I thought he needed was more De Niro.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, muy bueno De Niro.
Yeah, muy bueno De Niro. No, maybe he did it for free. Maybe he thought, hey, I like this. I love this.
Bread.
I'll do something. I'll give something back. You know, maybe
right.
he genuinely just liked the bread.
Right.
And that's totally fine too.
Mr. De Niro, if you're listening, tune in. Let us know. Listening. What was you never know. What was the story there?
Can we get a hashtag at Robert De Niro? At Robert De Niro, just keep growing thoughts? ? Could we get something like that trending in the comments?
Hello.
Do comments trend
Twitter?
Anymore?
I don't think comments have ever trended really. Hashtags, you mean?
Yeah, like trending comments. Why does that seem like such a funny concept to me?
Yeah, like hashtags.
My comment was trending. It was trending in the comments.
Or you had like trending on Twitter. If a thought or an idea was trending, it's like everyone's talking about it.
Did you ever do Twitter?
Yeah, I had Twitter for a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
Mostly used it to like berate celebrities and stuff, like in a funny way. In a funny way, you know. It was like, I don't know. I'd use it as like a bit of a comedy outlet, I guess, to make people laugh of sending messages to people, tagging celebrities in my tweets as if they were ever going to read it.
You're a comedian.
Yeah, basically. But I never really used it to put my own thoughts out there or anything like that.
That's interesting.
It was just kind of a jokey place.
Yeah.
What about you?
I never had it. I remember getting it when I was doing music, just because it was like everyone had it. But I don't think I never posted. I don't think I did. I used it once. I just don't know. I guess I was just never part of that. But some people really like Twitter. That's big for a lot of people.
It's rebranded now as hasn't it? It's like X.
Yeah.
I think that was a while ago now, but it's still new to me. I'm like, yeah. And then there's Threads.
Threads is Maybe you and I should make a social media thing.
What do you mean?
We make a social media.
Oh, we create a social media.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, don't even think about it. Okay, we've just got the deal. It's going ahead. Just don't even without thinking.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a new social media channel. It's called. Don't even think about it.
Floppy.
Floppy. We should probably talk about that.
Talk about that with you shrink. Yeah, it's called Floppy.
You know it doesn't happen all the time.
It's called Floppy.
Sometimes people just get tired. It's not a reflection of you.
And it's a social media where you send someone a flop.
That's good.
Right? So,
yeah.
like send me a flop or flop me.
Flop me. Okay, what's the USP though? How is that different?
This is where it comes into it. So remember floppy disks?
Yeah. Big time.
That's it. I've got nothing else.
You need a floppy disk to make it run. You have to get a 1999 PC and put a floppy disk in called floppy.
Yeah, there's no USP necessarily, but I think that it'll just catch on with people being like, "Oh, that's funny. Have you seen this thing called floppy?"
Floppy? Are you getting on floppy? I think that's a that'd be a good way for people to like a Tinder equivalent, but it's the way to avoid.
Kind of like I've got pronouns. it becomes a thing on your Tinder profile where you're either you just have to select like
erect or floppy.
And then yeah, it'll get that way. Where you gotta say, you gotta be upfront, you know.
I am flop. Hey, what can I say? Like I'm floppy. I guess it, and it's like, I don't think men realize it, but like myself included, like it's that whole thing of us getting to an age and then our sexual drive just absolutely just plummeting, and then that's it, and then it's like it
might not even be your drive up here, it might just be
hormones,
your output.
Yeah, like sometimes I do think about that. Sometimes I do think, like, when I was maybe like 19, 20, I feel like I had a lot more of that. I still feel like I'm pretty, what's the word? Like, I have a lot of vitality
Driven.
now, and a lot of that passion. But I think maybe when I was a bit younger, it was like, it was like...
Really? So I'd say it's pretty much the same.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a way of, it's like, let's, I'm 28, like, let's take that as 10 years. Where I was 10 years ago, it might only be like 10%.
I get you.
Less, but like if that doubles each year.
But I guess, do you think sometimes it's the same thing, like, so when you're 17, 18, something like that, you're kind of like fresh out of school, you're freshly an adult, you kind of don't really have much on your mind, you're kind of like just doing whatever, whereas then now 10 years later, we're running businesses, we're paying rent, these things like come into your brain. And then I guess maybe it happens in the same way people then in their late 20s or 30s, then they have kids. So it might just like lifestyle factors might affect your thought headspace for all that kind of stuff. It's interesting.
Then that's a really interesting thing, isn't it, about trying to pick a partner where it's like, it's not just about the physical side of it. You're with someone that's like, there's a great bit on About a Boy when Marcus is like, how do I know if like I like her, and Will's like, do you want to touch her? And then Marcus is like, well, I wouldn't really care about that, as long as I could share things with her and spend time with her, I wouldn't care about touching her. And that's really nice. Like, it's very like, it's
very wholesome. I like that a lot.
I like that a lot too. I think that rings true, because you do, like, so. If I was floppy, then it'd be like, well, I'd hope that you'd be with me, so you'd stay with me, so you could just, I don't know, I just it's a dark thought, isn't it?
Of course, though, like, it's like, if something happens to you now where you lost from the belly button down, either in an accident or a disease takes it away, I'd still love and care for you just the same.
You think so?
Of course.
Just the same? You don't think anything would change?
Well, lifestyle will change just in terms of the care that you'd need, and our pace of life might change, our direction might change, but we'd still be doing the poddy, just prop you up, and
you have to put me on.
And most of the time it can still work as well, because it's a muscle. People that have like the paraplegic from the waist down,
they can
stuff,
still get erections.
Still work, because it's a muscle. It's not
There's an organ, right?
An organ, that's it, yeah. So even people who have like muscle loss and issues with their muscles, it still works, yeah. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing, yeah.
The body's said kind of like, nah, we're out. But it's like that bit.
One bit is
still gone like,
no,
we're good.
Yeah, we're
still good to go.
Still. I guess it's like, surely there must be fibres in your organs that eventually
are affected.
Maybe.
There's probably loads of nuances there.
God, yeah. I mean, do you know about Rob Burrows?
No.
He was a rugby player. I think he recently passed away. He was like, I think he played for Leeds.
Rings a bell, actually.
And within the past couple of years, I think he got MS or something. One of those, and it's so heartbreaking, because like he was just prime of his life.
How old was he?
I think he was in his 40s. He wasn't old at all.
Still too young, that.
Really young, but he just turned it into this amazing thing. He campaigned for it. His whole team, I think they ran marathons for him and
That's
stuff,
amazing.
just to raise awareness for the charity and for the disease, and
incredible stuff.
You hear something like that, and it's like, I'd like to think that I could show that level of.
If that happened to me, that's what I would do. Do you think you kind of have to because if it's almost like if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Like if you don't go the other way,
Yeah.
and put your life into spreading awareness and raising money and trying to improve other people's lives,
Yeah.
then it's like you just, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, it's like a bit, but it's do you think, you know, it's that thing, isn't it, where it's like, because you see that as a narrative a lot. It's like something terrible happened, but then it's always, the narrative is like, you know, you overcome, you bear that cross, and then you just, you know, you. Oh, is that for the mic? Oh, for the...
Raw chewing this cone of a cornet. I don't want it to be disgusting to
It
people.
sounds like you're crunching a bowl of boulders.
I know.
Shrek cereal.
Mm.
The last bit's the best, isn't it?
It's so good.
Isn't it great? The little
Yeah.
chocolatey bit at the end. But yeah, mass respect to Rob Burrows and people that they're dealing with that kind of stuff. It really does put things into perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Any like human suffering that then turns into like spirit and like power of spirit and strength in improving yourself or improving someone else or raising awareness is amazing. Like it's almost like when, I don't know, like that idea of like something that could, this obstacle there that is like a daily obstacle, like it's something really that really hinders your life, and you just go about your day, you do your own thing, you live a life that's like not only normal, you know, in hyphenated commas, but then you go the other way where you're like, well, no, I'm gonna make a difference to people, I'm gonna, you know, build a community, I'm gonna raise awareness, I'm gonna do stuff for charity. It's like you've really been handed a card there that you could have easily been like, well, great, that's my life, that's something that's I didn't ask for, I don't deserve it. But instead it's like facing the hardship and coming out the other end and doing something good with what you've, it's like when we were at that Van Gogh experience, and I think there was a quote or something, wasn't there, like, what was it? I think you noticed it first, and it was like taking like the suffering but then turning it into something good. It's like the ultimate human like winner, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And it's good, I feel like it's good to, there's good ways that you can practice that in really small ways. You know, like not everybody thankfully will have these horrible cards dealt where it's like you've got a life-changing you know, disability coming your way, or it's you know, progressive. Like some people just will have to get up and be like, okay, like look, there's something there and we have to just work around it to the best of our ability. And what, you know, but then you take a step back and it's like, we're all good, health's there, like, you know, like vitality's there, like, you know,
and the good
loving
things
people,
that you're doing there are like, you know, it's like showing your gratitude for that, but then also passing that on to other people. No, for sure.
It's good. It's a good, you know, it's a good thought, like mentality to get into. I think.
Absolutely.
Do you think we should talk about
our week, our weekend?
Yeah. Maybe. Like what we did on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah. So Mike had this idea last week that we should come up with something that like brings us out of our house to go out, like, you know, in like the real world, meet people and hopefully bring some like sense of positivity, and I don't really know what else to describe it as, but just a sense of you're getting out there in like the real world instead of getting caught up in a bit of a bubble of doing things on like social media or doing things for each other and doing things for like our page and the podcast and stuff. Like, what's something tangible that is like something out there that we've put out into like the space and the community and stuff. And then Mike had the idea of making like homemade brownies. So we went and did that week.
Well, you did. I didn't.
Was that my idea to do the brownies?
No, you made them.
Oh, I did
You
make
made
them.
you made them all. So like we.
But you come up with the idea. I executed the brownies. So we made like 100 brownies.
You did. Again, I just don't feel comfortable like with it, because it was all you. Like you made all of them.
It was your idea though. You picked up the ingredients with me.
With you, yeah. Again, like it's like all I actually did was say, hey, we should make brownies, and then you were like, yeah, great, and then you made like 100, and I came in and I was like, oh my god, like that's like how have you
brownies. It smelled so good as well because I put them in the oven and then went to vote, and then when I came back they were done. So as I was coming in, they were like the whole flat smelled of like chocolate orange, which was great.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
and they tasted great as well.
They were good. Yeah, very simple.
Very simple recipe, and people. So yeah, and then we went out, didn't we?
Yeah. So Sunday we took some scooters up to Sefton because our car has broke down. And
that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Because we lived ages without a car.
Yep.
And now
it's all good.
Now we're just learning how to navigate life without one, and that's fine. And
then we just went out and said the phrase. They're not weird a lot to people who might have been interested if they were special fun brownies.
There's nothing. People actually did say, are they space brownies?
Yeah.
And it was like
because it does seem a little bit of like a hippy dippy thing to do, like go out and just give out weed brownies and stuff, like especially at Sefton,
I found it funny. I think because there was the element of like, oh, like we were coming at it from this purely like, oh, we'll make some brownies, we'll approach people, we'll say, hey, would you want a free brownie, like, and then if people felt confident, we'd say, have you got any positive thoughts for the day, and then we'd ask to record them and stuff.
Yeah.
And the fact that a few, because and we approach, and it's like, I feel like we. Not that what a weed smoker looks like, but in Sefton there is definitely like there's almost like a community
of
people that like play music and sit in areas, and it's like, okay, that seems like and there's Bob Marley music playing. It's like, all right, stereotype, shoot me for stereotyping, but that you can smell the weed.
I definitely know what you mean. I don't think we give off that vibe.
Definitely not. I feel like we approach, we're sort of like, oh, hello, quite low key and shit. And then there was that one guy, I think, who was like, yeah, like what are these space cakes?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, come on, man. Like, just not in a I wasn't having a go. I just been like, that's like, it's like, no, they're just regular old.
So we ended up just saying a lot like, hey there, hope you don't mind us asking. We just wonder if you want a free homemade brownie, and then one of us would be like, there's nothing weird. There's nothing weird.
Yeah. It's just
they're
batter.
Legit,
And it was really nice. I had a really nice time.
We walked around like a lot of the park and got chatting to a lot of people, some families, just some couples, some friends who were just out and about enjoying the weather. It was a really lovely day as well, so I think that was something that was putting people in a good mood. Be interesting to go back out on like a miserable rainy day being like, brownie, does anyone want a brownie?
It's like the rain has turned it back into the batter. And we're just trying to drink some brownie juice.
But no, there was some really nice interactions there, and then even sometimes the ones that weren't as like long or something, like you just get a sense of like, I don't know, there's just like something nice there that people might have gone away from that being like, oh well that's nice, like maybe people can just be like kind of nice for not really a reason, and that's nice. And and then for us as well to see people, and then for people to be interested and actually ask us about like what we're doing, and
it's very sweet.
Ask us about our page and stuff, and then like they take out their phone and take a look and stuff, and that's really nice, because that does feel like a sense of community there.
And it wasn't as if that it was like, it wasn't a prompt. We just said here's a brownie, have you got any thoughts? You don't have to be on camera. And then a lot of the time people would say, so what's this, what do you do? And then we'd say, oh, we run this thing that we're trying to spread positivity. And a lot of the time they'd just jump straight on it. And that's great, because it's like, wow, that's like a real, like, it's not like you're getting lost in the ether of just social media. It's like, that's actual, like, communication with people.
Definitely,
which felt, you know, that I feel like that's
really nice.
Yeah, and it's one of the first times that we've made a point of doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we definitely want to get into more of doing that. Of like, you know, you had the idea of maybe going to the gym and
Maybe
like,
try the gym. Yeah.
you know, seeing people's like things there. I really do like that idea of like breaking down this barrier a little bit of like trying to speak to people and hear people's like stories and thoughts and stuff as well. And yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be. I mean, if anyone has any ideas of what you think would be nice to see,
Yeah.
like we're gonna you'll see a video that's out today. That is us in Sefton giving out these brownies and stuff. And if anyone has any ideas of something that they think, oh, you should try this or go there or try that, that'd be great, because there might be something that could be a really good untapped resource that we could check out,
for sure,
which would be awesome. But yeah, it was nice. It felt really, really cool, and it's been nice going over the footage and seeing some of the people, like lots of doggos, lots of
lots of really nice cute dogs.
Yeah, and lots of like, you know, like older people who have been nice to talk to, because that always gives you a real sense of perspective when you talk to someone who's maybe got like 50, 60 years on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there a couple that had been married 50 years, 60 years?
Yeah.
The guy was like 83 and he looked like 60.
Yeah, I remember them, yeah.
And loads of them said, like, remember that couple that they were like, you got to get out and you got to be moving and you got to be doing stuff.
That was great.
And that was great, because that's gold. That's like gold, because it's like it reinforces loads of the things that we believe.
Yeah, she was like, oh, like no matter what, if it's raining, like we come here, and that's great. And you know, I love that. Like that's it's like such a simple thing, but you can't underestimate the value of it, of just of getting out and going for a walk, moving your body, like doing stuff, like, because there are people in our lives that don't have that as part of their life, and you just think like, yeah, it's like it's good for so many things. And maybe it's like the idea of like someone saying to you, okay, so you know, tomorrow like you can't go out, do you think you could spend the day like in the flat?
Me?
Yeah, like you can't.
Oh, I could do like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you go a bit like at some point in the day, like not being able to get out and do stuff?
Yeah. I wouldn't like that, but I would. Yeah, but I probably could. I'd probably struggle a lot. Yeah. Do you think so too?
Yeah, but that's funny because like I probably wouldn't have a long time ago. I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. Like I could definitely not leave the flat for days. You know.
Here's a scenario. You come into the flat and you hear you hear this.
Okay.
Okay, what do you do? You just.
Are you home?
I don't know. The door was open.
The door was open. Oh my god.
What do you do?
I'd shout your name. Mike.
Yeah?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just in here.
I'd come in at that point.
Okay.
And I'd come and inspect what you were doing.
I'm totally naked and I'm covered head to toe in blue paint. And I'm painting the walls blue, but only using my body.
Oh my god.
And I'm doing this, but I'm totally normal. I'm like, hi baby. I'm like, come here. How are you doing?
Oh my god.
I'm like, sorry, I got a bit of paint on you.
I think that you'd like lost it. I think that
you've
gone crazy. Yeah. Why? What would you do if that was me?
Now I think about it. Of course. What else is there to think? That's the only explanation.
What was the other scenario there of me being like?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was the idea of me being in the flat and going crazy, and then I look at you and I'm like, Maggie, I've never been more clear-minded in my whole life. And then I'm like, join me.
Join us.
You'll feel so great in the paint.
Oh, I mean that sounds kind of fun, but I don't know about. I wouldn't mind doing the thing where you get the sheet, like this big, and then you get covered in paint and like paint and stuff on the floor.
I like that.
That's cool, but not the walls.
I do kind of like the idea of having like a, like a statue made after me.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. The
What would
statue.
the pose of the statue be? If you could seriously have it seriously made,
Okay,
what would
but
it be?
here's what this. I mean only if someone said we can erect a statue of you in public, I'd say no thanks.
Yeah.
That's not for me. But if someone said we can erect a statue, we can chisel you how you
Right.
are now,
I get you.
and we live.
And it's just for you.
Yeah, and we live and we've got a garden, and we can put it in the garden.
Okay.
And we can also and I'm like this, and it's got a bird feed on it.
Oh, that's nice.
I like the idea of that being a thing where, and I've got a loyalty cloth.
A loincloth?
Oh,
A loyalty card.
I've got a loyalty cloth, and over the bits, but you see my body, and that's the exact body I had.
I would totally go for that too.
You'd get that too.
Yeah, I would totally go for that too.
I think that'd be a good thing to
But
have.
yeah, I'm
wouldn't
the
it?
same. I wouldn't have it in public.
Or if someone was to, like in the Titanic, if someone was to sketch you, would you do that?
I don't know actually.
Like naked?
Yeah, didn't think about that. I don't know how comfortable I'd be sort of stood there naked in front of someone to do either the statue or the painting.
He has to be naked too, so you can check
That's even weirder.
Well, no, because if you can now check if he gets an erection or her. In fact, it's a woman painter.
Oh, that'd be fine.
That you'd totally be fine with that.
I'd be totally fine with that.
I totally get that.
Totally fine. Would you rather it be a man or a woman?
It depends. If either one of them assault me, I want the one who doesn't assault me.
Well, you don't know. You hope none of them will, but I would definitely.
Oh, so there's no way of knowing.
No, there's no way of knowing.
Oh well, then you see, in that situation, I'd rather a man because I'd feel
interesting.
Because I wouldn't want to not hurt. I wouldn't. That's the wrong word. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to impose myself on any woman for any reason.
Love that.
Is that good?
I get you.
So so it's the thought of any woman having to see my body.
Yeah.
Is an insult.
Oh.
To that woman because
no.
I just no sorry, I don't mean that. I just mean like sorry, I'm not explaining it right. I am a gruffalo and I don't want women to have to put up with that, I guess.
Not at all.
Women seeing other women's bodies, it's a win-win.
It's not a win-win, it's just like it's a mutually understood thing, and also even if the woman that was painting me was gay, I still wouldn't feel weird because I don't know, there's just a level of like understanding, as in like we both have the same body.
Yeah.
And then this thing of like there isn't a power dynamic here because we're both women.
And
right?
and that would not be the same with a man.
It wouldn't be the same. Even if that man was gay, it wouldn't be the same. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would rather a man because you don't want to put yourself in front of a woman?
No, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't. But I think it's any idea of being. I think like I picture this woman being very respectful and very nice, and I would just feel I'd be like, look, I'm so sorry about this, and then I'm sure that woman would be like, don't worry about it, and I'd be like, yeah, I know, it's just look,
that's her profession though.
I know, and then
in the same way that when you go to a woman doctor.
Oh, I feel bad for.
I know.
I've said that many times. Like,
do you say that to the woman doctor?
I did the last time I had to go. I think I had to go for a finger on my bottom because of my horrific IBS. So I had to, and I said to her, I remember we had like a lovely chat. She remembered me. She said, "Oh, how's your music going?" That's sweet.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I was like, you're just ticking all the boxes, and then for a doctor, and then she said, let's get up, and I was like, I just feel bad. I do remember saying like, I feel bad for you. And then she said, I've seen it all before. This doesn't embarrass me in the slightest. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome. But then a guy, I don't know. I just feel like I have had the not pleasure, but not displeasure either. I've had the situation of
I've had a man before.
Yeah, I've had a man. And when he put his finger at my bottom, I remember it being really, unpleasant. I remember it, and sure, it was like my first time.
Yeah.
First time. I'm 27, and I've had like 8 fingers up my ass. Like that's like so lame.
Is that really how many you've had? 8? No, you've not.
No, it's probably like 4 or 5.
Really, you don't know exactly then.
I mean, I know I've had 2 guys.
Yeah.
I think I've had 3 women.
Interesting.
So that's and I feel like every time without fail, women have always been more courteous.
Wow.
I think I can say that with total conviction. Yeah.
That's fair.
What do you think? Well, do you
I've
want to talk about that?
I've only ever really dealt with women doctors. I've never really been to a man doctor about anything personal. Not that I can think of anyway. The only experiences I've ever had with male like doctors or anything.
Yeah.
The only things that I can think of is when I was younger and I had a dentist who was horrible. And then my doctor when I was a bit older was just like blah. He was just like whatever. You know, not really like not unpleasant but not pleasant either, just very like
it's very,
you know, sit down, bye sort of thing.
How do you feel about that? Because I feel as if part of what a doctor does is it's the whole come in, sit down, let's talk, let's tell me about you. I'm not saying I need a life story, but the idea of being like let's connect for like 60 seconds and then we'll jump into it.
I know what you mean.
Bedside manner, I think they used to call it.
Yeah, but I think like the pressure with the NHS and stuff, it's like the amount of patients and that, and then the turnaround of like how many they'll need to get through in the day. So then it's kind of like, you know, the quantities need to be met, so then therefore the quality kind of goes down. And you know, I don't think that's always been the case. I'm just thinking of, luckily I've not really had to see doctors and nurses that much throughout my life really, which is good.
Yeah.
But the nurses that I see for things like you know, cervical screens, or like when I get my implant done, they're all women. And
with maybe like UTIs, it feels as if there's maybe more. It's
mostly women, yeah, mostly women.
And like it's like a shared. It's like we get it.
Yeah.
We get it because we're women. And
exactly. Like literally, I remember phoning up when I had a UTI like ages ago.
Yeah.
And it's like an automated voice, and one of the things the automated voice said was that if you are calling about a minor ailment such as something, urinary tract infections, you can just call the like pharmacy and you'll be connected and they'll be able to help you. So I was like, oh, that's amazing, like finally, because it's such a rigmarole otherwise to get a GP appointment and then a urine sample and all that.
Yeah.
And I got through to a girl like really quickly, and I was like, hi, blah 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 blah, and she was like, oh yeah, no worries, like blah blah blah, like this, and I was like, oh, that's amazing, like thank you. And she was like, no worries, that's here for you whenever you need it. And it's like that just feels so nice.
Yeah, I get it. There's none of that for like when I've like ring my doctor, my willy's small, and don't worry about it, mate. Oh, don't worry, we've had that. Come over. You know, I've got something for you. And I go, oh, brilliant, thank you, mate. There's none of that. It's like oh well. Have you tried Viagra? And it's like, no, I of course not tried Viagra. I'm 26. But I think it's great that you have that for you and your community.
Thank you.
For your not species. Are you a species? The female species?
No, I think I think humans are species, and then we're just like the sex.
The sex. Yeah. I love that for you and your species.
But yeah. Look, I mean, it's lucky really to not have to deal with that.
Yeah.
With much health things, because you know people out there are going through chronic illnesses or issues that are undiagnosed for so long, and it's really tough. I mean, I know you've had you run in with things like that before as well, that like go undiagnosed for a while, and then it's a really tough one. But
I think that's, you know, it's the importance of like, I think maybe, and I've only learned this in the past couple of years, you know, the significance of just trying to take care of yourself the absolute best.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's like yeah, physically, I would hate the thought of being like, there's an ailment there that I'm contributing to, and I'm not helping myself, you know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot to be like, wow, I've gone from feeling like 40% to 80% just from doing a few things, you know, and that's
so
a very
true.
empowering feeling.
And it's like, it's empowering, yeah, and it's like agency, like giving people the agency to actually be able to impact how their day-to-day life is, and that maybe their pain levels or their like their suffering,
Yeah.
you know, like it is good. And yeah, God, you just gotta be like so grateful to just wake up and be like all right, like.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if we're going to the gym or we're going to play tennis and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is hard. And it's like, yeah, but like,
It's
you're
good
so
hard.
lucky for this to feel hard, and
A good
hard.
A good hard.
You know, yeah, like it's something I think I can never go without again. Like
That's a yeah.
moving my body, and
that thing of once you've opened that door,
yeah,
it's very hard to go back.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, so true. Can you imagine what your life would look like now if you stopped going to the gym and stopped any sense of making exercise part of your day to day?
I really can't. I just
like,
I
what do you
feel
think
so...
you'd do first thing in the day, in the morning when you got up? Do you think you'd go, you know what I mean?
I think I would just be I think I'd be the biggest mess you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think I would genuinely stick my head in the toilet and give myself a swirly. And I think you'd come in and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I thought I was washing my face." And then there'd be that.
I know what you mean.
You know, I feel like I'd run full pelt at a brick wall. I've just, you know, to try and get out some sort of... I think I would be a lot mentally. I think I'd be very lost.
Yeah.
You know, with
isn't
different
it?
things, you know. What do you think about yourself?
I know in myself that I've defo, like, so last weekend, for example, like, I went through a stint of work where I was, like, training it to and from Manchester Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So for those 3 days, like, I didn't really incorporate exercise into my daily routine because I was out the door at, like, you know, 8, 9. And then I was at my pop-up all day until maybe 6 or 7, and I was on the train home. And then it's like, it's tea time, and then you kind of want a bit of downtime to yourself and stuff. So I went those 3 days, and it's like, I don't feel massively like, I don't think I felt like really bad. I wasn't like really, but it was because the reasons that I wasn't having that routine were good reasons. Like,
I hear you.
Whereas I think if I were to wake up and be like, right, you're up now, like, but you can't go to the gym, you can't run, you can't do any exercise, I would really feel at a loss of what to do, because I couldn't go and eat, because I just can't eat first thing in the morning now. I can't just go straight to having a breakfast.
Yeah.
I can't go and just sit at my desk and just start working, because that would feel really odd.
Yeah.
I can't, like, go to a cafe and stuff and chill, or I can't come in here and watch TV. It's like,
you used to do that. I remember you used to get up and you would literally come straight in here.
Yeah.
And you would just watch TV for hours.
I really would.
And then you'd eat something and then more TV. And could you imagine doing that now?
No, but I would love to watch as a TV on like a show what that used to be like. Just to be like,
yeah.
like, oh my god.
You did what?
Yeah. What did you do? What's the worst thing I could have done?
You had sex?
You watched Breaking Bad all day? But yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it? It's like, but when you get to a certain point when there is like no going back. And then I wonder maybe if like,
yeah,
you know, if we started, say, getting up at like 5, 6 in the morning, because, you know, that's something that we've been talking about, trying to get a bit more longevity out of our days. I wonder if we would do that for, I mean, it's for me now, it's been over a year of training consistently, as in, unless I've had a good enough reason or I am taking a rest day, I am working out every single day in some way. It's like that
thing, like we've, you know, it's like, now it's like, we know, you know, we were saying today, we were like, you know, we were working out, and I was like, I love coffee, and you were like, I love breakfast.
Yeah.
And that morning routine for us of being like, we're up, we're straight out the door.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy to be like, it's 6, we're up, we're out the door, 6:30, we're running. Our first coffee's at what, 7:30? What?
I mean, would we do that though? Like, would that be naturally what we'd feel ready to do once we'd worked out that early, or would we still be like, oh, I don't know, like, would that be like our first coffee of the day, and then we'd eat a bit later? What would that look like?
I have no idea. I have no idea. But I feel like a Whopper from Burger King. Do you?
I've never had one.
I feel like I just wolfed that Nando's.
No, you took your time with it. You really savoured it. Have you got any left?
I had like half of it and then I binned it. I know, because I was so full. I was so full in the moment.
And now do you feel hungry?
And now I really, for some reason, fancy a Whopper. I would never heed these words. I would never touch a Whopper under any circumstances. It doesn't matter. If someone had a gun to Meg's head, I'd throw the Whopper at the assailant and then try my best to save her. No, you know what I really fancy?
Oh, go on. Wait, let me guess.
It's super naughty.
It's really naughty.
Well, it's pretty naughty. And it's because I've opened the gateway tonight. That's a clue.
Okay. A Domino's with the Coke that you had? Because you love getting a Coke with a Domino's. No?
You pretty much what you said, the second thing.
A Coke?
Yeah.
You just want another Coke?
I want another Coke, baby.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's because of the sugar.
Yeah, maybe that's why, like, you got fuller, because usually you wouldn't get a Coke with a Nando's.
Fuller?
We just... Easy on the drinks, girl. The rubber sheets are packed. He's called Fuller, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him.
Maybe because you had that Coke, that's
definitely
empty calories as well.
It's so I am so craving it right now.
Oh, honey.
And
How about just a diet lemonade?
It doesn't. I totally.
The mustard, does it?
I totally get the thing with like people who are addicts.
Yeah.
Because that for me, that's what the first. Oh, okay. You know, did I really just say? Because I had a Coke, I understand what addicts feel like. But I'm sure that's me being empathetic. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah. It's being able to see the fixation on something.
Yeah, I had a Coke for dinner, first one I've had in a long time, and now I'm seriously considering getting off this, and then going to the shop and getting a Pepsi, and just I could just do that.
Yeah.
I could go the whole way.
Mine's not necessarily with Coke, but if I've not drank enough water throughout the day, and then I go to the fridge and I'm like, oh, I'm really thirsty. But you know that type of thirst that like a water won't quench. It's like, oh, yeah, I could drink some water, but that's not what I need.
Yeah.
Really, it's the sugar, or even with our because we get diet lemonade from Tesco, even the fake notion of the sugar is what my body's craving. So I get out the lemonade and I'll plop it into my glass, plop in the Ribena.
You're very flop and plop tonight.
Yeah, I am, aren't I? You know, I'll explode it into the into the glass, and then I'll chug it, and I'll be chugging it so hard, and it'll feel so good, because it's each gulp is satisfying that need.
Yeah.
And then I'll do that and do that and do that, and then I'll think that I've quenched my thirst. And then literally within minutes, I need the exact same thing again. And it's the same mentality where I'm like, no, water won't do it. It needs to be lemonade. And then I'll think I'm done and I'll get into bed, and then I will get the worst thirst ever.
Yeah.
That only water will spike. Yeah. And then I down a bottle of water in bed, and then I'm in the toilet all night. Bombing. No, I'm just waking up desperately needing a wee because I just chugged a full bottle of water at night because I drank so much lemonade that I thought was quenching my thirst, but it was actually just making me thirstier. Yeah,
I get it. I really do get it.
Damn.
I hate it because it's don't. What's the safer thing to do is to just not ever open the bottle. Because but
again now I think I've got to the thing where look, that was I think I finished my drink. I always give myself a small glass of lemonade and Vimto with my meal, and I've gotten quite good at eating most of my meal and then having a swig to be and then going back to the meal and then finishing my drink.
Yeah, it's
quite rare for me to go back and get another fizzy drink, and that's not me saying that you do, but I think I think I'm getting there with having a little bit of it of an evening, and then I'm like, I've had my bit. It's kind of like us with like a bit of chocky of an evening. We can have a little bit. Doesn't need to be you could have like 1 or 2 Gillian's seashells, but you feel a bit of a thing if you could eat the whole box if you really wanted to.
No, not with. I don't think so much with chocolate. I think with chocolate, I have a nice relationship with chocolate now.
Nice,
but
it's the fizzies.
Like a Coke, yeah. Like I just definitely feel that. Or if we were doing if someone said like there's a. Although with that said, we just got Nando's and I left half of it, which is so unlike me.
I know.
But I don't know. Life's a funny old bugger, isn't it?
I think you left half of it though because you had that Coke.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I was chugging it because it was just like so tasty.
I saw you.
Yeah, it was.
I had
awesome.
a chug as well.
Wasn't it great though?
It was nice, but I think it would have been nicer if I hadn't have already swigged my lemonade.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's not your fault. Because you didn't know that there was a Coke on offer,
No, I don't mind Coke. I'd order it if I was at a restaurant or something. I wanted a Coke with my meal.
Looking back, would you have got one?
No,
you
because I'm really alright with the diet lemonade. It defo does satiate that bit of fizzy, sugary fix.
But it's just another good. For me, it's another good thing of that self-awareness thing, of like, okay, if I have a Coke, I'm probably gonna feel an itch to have more Coke, so I just should stay away from Coke.
I get you.
I'd hate to think what vampires must feel like. Like Edward from
Twilight.
That must have been torture. Because he's a veggie, so the vegetarians from that show, they just eat animals.
They do.
They don't eat humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Twilight, do you think?
My favourite Twilight 2 for sure.
Do you know what was the title of that?
Two Moons.
Oh, you're so close. New Moon.
That's what I said.
Oh.
Twilight, New Moon, of course, with Edward, Becca. Sorry, I misspoke. Cause I was thinking about a girl who I know called Rebecca.
You think there is actually? Wait. No, is there a girl called Becca in that? No, I'm thinking of Becca from Superbad.
Becca from Superbad, yeah.
Which is she's not even in Twilight, so I can't even make that link. I thought it might have been Anna Kendrick, but it's not, is it? It's some other actress.
Think so. No, yeah, I don't think so.
But Anna Kendrick is in a movie, and so is Emma Stone is in movies.
Who's Anna Kendrick?
Anna Kendrick, she's in Twilight.
She's in Twilight. Who does she play in Twilight?
She's like the friend at the school, so she's not a Cullen. She's kind of like the one of the main girls that is friends with Bella.
She's not a vampire.
She's not a vampire, no. She's a normal girl, normal girly. She's got a crush on this guy, and then all the guys are crushing on Bella, so there's a bit of friction there.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, movie night with Bella.
Is she being funny there?
Yeah, she's being a bit like, oh god, this new girl who's like, everybody wants her, and oh.
She's a new girl. Bella is a new girl at the school.
Bella's a new girl at the school.
Yeah, she moves from a mum. She didn't live with them. Yeah, her mum. Something happened.
Yeah, mum and the new stepdad guy, her new partner, are going out like traveling together.
So she moves.
So Bella goes back to
her dad.
Forks,
who literally looks like he's like 5 years older than her. He does not look old enough to be a father. He's got a mustache.
That's about it, isn't it? Really, I think he looks old enough to be a papa.
And there's some question of his sexuality. That's a big thing that goes throughout the thread. Is that not the thing?
No.
That's not a thing. No. That he's attracted to that guy who he goes hunting with.
But that's so funny. Like,
that's not a serious narrative.
No, it's
They go out hunting all the time.
They're really old pals. They're not. There's
Meg,
Brokeback Mountain shit going on.
Meg, look at the dude's mustache. Throughout the whole film, you're telling, and he goes into the woods with this guy, and they're hunting. What is it? Bears? Is it like I don't know. I think that's code, to be honest, honey.
You know, if you looked it up, I bet there's some fan fiction out there that are basically saying
You can
that.
say you say fan fiction. I say
Core script. That's so funny.
I seriously thought there was an element of that there.
Do you remember? So in New Moon, you've got the love triangle.
You've got Bella, who is the she's the main love interest.
Yeah.
She's a pale-skinned woman. She does this a lot.
Oh, she does. Perfect.
And then you've got the werewolf guy.
Whose name is
Cream Cracker. Jacob.
Oh,
Jacob's Cream Cracker.
Nice. Like, what's his last name?
Jacob Wolf, I think, is his name. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it's Edward Vampire. Edward Bloodsucker. Edward Sucks. Jacob Wolf. and Bella in the middle.
Bella Shy.
But you know, the juice is in the side characters, honey.
Yeah, it's all about the side.
The juice is in the
such
side.
As...
Don't get me started. do not get me started. I can tell you how. Let me tell you
What about the dad? Tell us about the dad.
Yeah, the gay guy.
No, Edward's dad.
Charlie.
Nope, that's Bella's dad.
Charlie's dad. No, Edward's dad. Edward
Edward's
Cullen's dad. He's not in it.
Yeah, he is. The dad. Sorry, sorry to the
Oh,
mic.
the vampire dad.
Yes.
Oh, Michael. I think that's his actor's name.
Oh, is it?
The guy who sees the future.
No, that's Alice, the sister.
Oh,
who sees the future. But the dad,
the head
blonde.
Yeah, the head vampire.
Yeah.
Oh no, you mean the nice guy. He's not blonde. He's got white hair, right? And he pretends to be a doctor.
He is a real doctor.
He is a real doctor. He's blonde.
He's white blonde doctor.
And it's.
Who are you thinking of? That's not a nice guy.
I thought he had the head vampire.
Oh,
who rips people's heads off.
Of the Volturi.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I thought he was the dad because
no,
head of the vampire dads.
No, sorry, I just meant Edward's dad in hyphenated.
Explain
commas.
that to me for a second.
So, they're an adopted family. So Oh,
I don't like this at all. Go on.
So Carlisle, that's his name.
Okay, Whitey, I'm gonna call him.
Casper. He's a vampire. He's living in the late 19th century. Is that late 18th century?
Late 18th century.
Yeah.
So 17.
No,
something.
19th. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 1 year.
One year after. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. 19th century, and he stumbles upon young Edward, human Edward, who is dying of Spanish influenza in 1917.
Okay, from 1917. So he's a war soldier.
Sure. It's not. I don't think it's ever specified that he goes to war, but he's not in a good way. He might have been too young, but he's 17 when he gets
He's 17.
turned.
Okay.
Edward Cullen. No, Carlisle.
Let me do some of the name when you introduce them. Let me figure them out.
Okay. So the dad. Carlisle saves
Edward Cullen
from dying
by biting him
and
making him
into a
eternal.
vampire.
Yeah.
So then, now you've kind of got this thing where he's turned him.
That makes him his father.
It doesn't make him his father, but it kind of.
Because wouldn't that make, that Edward would be Bella's father. Edward would, yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not father yet. So at the current state that we're in Forks.
Okay.
In order to provide this sense of normality, they're a family. They kind of fit the age parameters of he was about as old as his son and he was about as old as his dad.
Okay.
So for all intents and purposes, they're living in this house together in Forks in a place where there's not a lot of sunlight for obvious reasons with the sun and the glitter and the stuff.
They can't be out in the sun.
They don't go out in the sunlight, no, otherwise their skin shines.
But they do go out in overcast weather.
Yeah, overcast is fine.
Yeah, but
sunny
sunny's not.
days they don't. They go.
Okay.
They go away into the woods and stuff.
Okay. Why all the windows in the house then? You've seen their house.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, they've got the safety. It's right in the middle of the woods. No one's there, and
But why build windows? Right.
It's sexy.
Okay, that's okay. Little plot thing there, but that's fine. Okay.
if they were living on a busy street and had big windows and they're like, like right in the sun in the window.
No, it's just
but there's nobody that will be coming up to their house on their little bit of land in the woods. It's totally secluded.
I get it. I just mean,
You know what I mean?
if on the off chance that it was a sunny day,
Yeah.
they'd be in a bit of trouble.
I know what you mean.
They don't sleep in coffins.
No, they don't sleep in coffins.
They just sleep in regular beds.
Sleep.
They don't sleep?
No, they don't sleep. Vampires don't sleep.
Oh, that sucks.
They don't need sleep.
Why don't they need sleep? Well, that's turning a trope on its head, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the vampires that sleep in the day.
Yeah. So that's where the whole adoptive family comes in, is that to the outside world, the Cullens, the Carlisle and Esme, his wife, his actual wife.
She has a bob.
No, Esme's got long hair in it. Alice has got a bob. She's the one who sees the future.
Alice sees the future.
And she's like kind of Edward Cullen's adopted sister.
Okay.
Because she was also turned by
the dad. Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Carlisle. Now, all the vampires have special powers.
Not all of them.
Oh, right.
Only some.
Okay.
It seems that way anyway, because it's never, not that I'm aware of, but it's never specified that the dad or people like Rosalie, you know, the blonde one who's a bit like standoffish.
Yeah.
She's the sister, and she's like, you know, Bella comes into the house and she like breaks that bowl.
Yeah.
Because she's like annoyed.
Yeah.
When they're making salad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it's ever said that she's got a special power or anything. It's only really Edward, Alice.
Edward can go into people's minds.
Yeah.
And be like,
right.
Hey, what's going on?
So
that's not cool, is it? It's like
he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it, but he still does it.
I don't think he gets a choice.
If I was just there and anyone popped in, all right, geezer, I'd fucking hell, I'd be like, what are you doing here? Like, you know, and they're trying to and the way how Edward talks.
I imagine it to be like
that scene. Oh, it makes me feel sick.
What scene?
Oh, it makes me feel sick.
I really feel like watching them now, but it's way too early on in the year.
There's a we should watch them. No, we should watch them.
Too early.
We should do a watching party.
Oh, that would be so
Wouldn't that be
funny.
Fun? Twilight watching party. We should do it. That sounds like a fun.
That would be fun.
We should do a poll. Who'd be up for a Twilight watching party so people can educate me?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yes.
We should do that. Around the flat. Okay, so there's a scene where I think Bella's out in the woods.
I love this scene.
Why she's just out walking in the woods when she
runs out there.
She knows that there's vampires about and whatever, and then a vampire approaches her, some dude with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And he's like... He's
bad. He's a baddie.
And his eyes are glowing jet red. So I think he's like... But he said... And then he says something like, you know... I am picturing him with an accent that I don't think is true to the character, so I won't do it. I want to, but I won't, because I think...
What can you think of where the accent's from?
I, for some reason, think he has got a Jamaican twang.
I can slightly hear the Jamaican twang in his
voice. Okay, so that's... I've not just... Okay, great.
Kind of like... It's like... Yeah, I can hear it. It's not obvious. It's not like Bob Marley Jamaican.
No.
But I think it's meant to be like...
There's an...
he's left you here unprotected. You know, that kind of like... It's musical.
Yeah, like he doesn't say man at the end of every sentence.
No.
But like he shows up and then so he's like, but he says that he's not there to hurt her, right?
That's right.
Is he giving a warning? Or he's sort of saying like, you know...
He's basically saying, I'm coming to warn you because... oh my God, what's her name? Victoria.
Blonde.
Is gonna come and kill her because Edward killed her mate in the first movie.
Right.
So she needs to avenge that now by killing his mate. But then he's basically looking at her and he's like, but actually... I'm here now.
I might as well just get it done.
I might as well just get it done now and kill you.
And Edward comes in
as a ghost,
which is so like, So anyway, and then he's like, what is it? He's like, lie to him.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you know, Edward will be here any minute or something. And then he's like, lie better. And
I love that.
Oh, that makes me feel sick.
Why?
I don't know.
He's trying to protect her.
I don't know. I think if that was me, I'd be saying, "Fucking run!" But like, fucking get out of there. He's gonna fucking rip your head off. Get out.
He knows that she can't outrun him though. She can't outrun a vampire.
or all right, I'd just be screaming, Bella, Bella. I'd know that he was gonna kill her, and I'd be like, no, Bella. I wouldn't be like playing it. If that was you, I wouldn't be like, this cool, like, lie to him, babe, or like, like.
I know what you mean.
And then I'm positive. Then it cuts to Charlie necking that guy. They're in the woods.
The deleted scene.
And then he hears her scream, and then he's like, "That's my daughter." And then he's like, well, "We should go, Charlie." And then they pull the pants up and get running. Like they strap the guns on, and then Jacob comes out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
Running and then turns into a werewolf.
Yeah. Love that scene.
Roll. And then he's there. I think that could be a fun listening party.
Yeah.
A watching party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just listen. That would be fun. Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, it's so funny hearing you, like, because obviously I've got a really good recount of the movies and stuff, and
Yeah.
I like read the books and that when I was a bit younger.
Very
It's
cool.
just so funny hearing that from you. I imagine it's when I'm trying to describe things from Elden Ring or from like Metal Gear Solid or something that I'm like,
Those are the two things I have. A Metal Gear Solid and Elden
no,
Ring.
you got loads.
No, like I get that, and it's funny when I think there's a real tenderness in those things though,
Yeah.
where someone's trying to
Oh yeah, of course.
make that effort, and
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to make any effort there. That was like it's not like you love Twilight, and I'm like, oh hey babe,
You're just pissing on it.
like the idea of me trying to of you're the kind of woman that loves Twilight. You've got all the books, you love the films, any opportunity, you've got a
Yeah.
tattoo. As a man, that's going to make me feel so shit, because I'm just like, I am nothing like Edward or Jacob. I'm not even like
You're quite like Charlie actually.
who's the gay dad.
Bella's dad, yeah.
Well, that's not.
He's just a real stand-up, wholesome, good man. That's what you are.
And if he's gay, that's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome, because it's about. It's not about what you.
Twilight
It's not.
series is a very gay series, even though there aren't any gay characters.
If it were gay, I think it would actually make it more likable. If there were more gay characters, I think I would lean into it, because I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is kind of real now.
Yeah, I can't believe they never put any gay characters in it all the way through it. It's crazy.
I would have liked to have seen like the
Some
it's
inclusivity there.
yeah.
And like, yeah, there's like, this is a movie where there's vampires and werewolves, but oh yeah, there's no gay people.
It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable to have a gay guy in the show, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, shame on you, Twilight.
Well, hope you've enjoyed this, guys, and
That was
let
so
us know
much
if
fun.
you want us to do more movie rundowns.
I'd actually absolutely love to do the next segment is
Yeah.
movie time,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we talk about movies that maybe not one of us
That
has
could be
fully
fun.
understood, or
Yeah, that could be good. I mean, I love talking about movies. I just fear that we'd lose like the positivity message if we're just talking about movies.
we could bring it back, like that whole thing. Then we just brought that back about how we think
It's okay
that
to be gay.
we think that gay people should have been represented more in Twilight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Twilight could have quite easily have been a gay love story between Jacob and Edward.
Oof, there's plenty of fan fiction of that out there as well.
I actually thinking of that even now, I actually think that's more of an interesting thing.
It is, yeah.
Two
it is.
bloodlines.
Or even if, like, obviously Bella and Edward want each other, Bella and Jacob want each other, but it's like, yeah, what if Edward and Jacob also wanted each other? And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, and then it's a whole bag of
Isn't
worms.
that crazy?
Yeah.
And then Bella's jealous.
How are we all going to make this work? Yeah. I gotta go do some reading.
Oh yeah, I love that. That was a really fun segment. Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
Okay, well yeah, maybe that's and it's like it's the last episode of this series next week.
It is, yeah.
So then we should consider.
We need to think of a new series, don't we? Something that's different.
Movie
Movies.
time.
Movies, but also have a good life.
Yeah, we could definitely we could talk
Yeah.
about some of the things that are in movies, and how you take them into your own life.
Yeah, maybe
We could do it right now. Twilight. What do you take from Twilight into your own life?
The vibes. The vibes are strong.
The vibes
in
are strong.
Twilight, yeah, and it's embracing the cringe.
Embracing
The cringe, yeah, and loyalty.
There you go. I think if we were to spend an hour talking about those three things, there's a lot in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we do a Patreon where we actually watch the film and we react in real time.
Yeah.
And people watch our reactions.
That would be fun.
And
I would tune into that for sure.
Yeah. But the Patreon's free.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well,
Awesome.
that's coming soon, guys.
So it is 25 to midnight. We have to get
Lovely.
this exported and uploaded. So that's probably going to take around 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yes.
So
but
this is real fresh stuff.
it is super fresh, yeah.
Super fresh.
Can't wait to hear from you guys tomorrow, and yeah, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening as always. Give us some film recommendations.
Yeah.
Let us know what else you think would be cool to go out into public, in a park, in a gym, to inspire people.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we can't wait to make that a regular thing that we do, to actually get out there and meet people. So yeah, thank you.
And if anyone else is suffering from flop, I don't really know much about that, but if you want to, you can always talk to me, I guess, and
Always.
if I can kind of relay some kind of information that I think might be helpful. I don't know. As I say, I've never really dealt with that kind of stuff. But I guess I could probably offer lots of sound advice.
Good to know. Okay, should we do a Twilight thumbnail?
Yeah, okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.